and welcome to the Heart Smart series brought to you by the Irish Heart Foundation. This series aims to help you make smart choices for your heart health. I'm Aileen, a nurse on the Irish Heart Foundation team. On this episode, we will discuss exercise, why it's important, and where to start. Let's begin by talking about the why of exercise. Getting regular exercise is one of the most important things you can do to improve your overall health, and I think most of us are aware of this. So let's break down this concept a little bit further. Getting regular exercise can improve your physical health, and it does this by helping to reduce blood pressure, helping to reduce cholesterol levels. It may help you maintain or manage your weight, which can in turn help reduce your overall risk of heart disease and stroke. Regular exercise can have a positive influence on your mental health, helping to lift your mood, potentially improve your self-esteem, and reduce stress levels, which we know again has a positive impact on our heart health. Exercise can also promote your social health. So it can be fun, it's interactive, it's social. You might choose to join a class or a team, or just rope in some friends or families or colleagues to get active with. And this again will improve our overall health. To summarise, exercise has the potential to improve your physical health, to improve your mental health, and to improve your social health. Now that we have a better understanding of the benefits, let's move on and talk about the level of exercise we should be aiming for and what constitutes exercise. So, adults should be active at a moderate intensity for at least 30 minutes per day, 5 days per week. For people living with a disability, the guidance would suggest to be as active as your ability allows, to choose activities that suit your ability, and aim to achieve the guidelines of 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise 5 days per week. So what does moderate intensity mean? And this is probably the most important factor in making your exercise worth it, by making sure you reap the positive health benefits. So moderate intensity describes how much effort you're putting into the activity. Moderate intensity is the ideal level to be working at for heart health. So what does it feel like? Your body tells you when you're working at moderate intensity through 3 key signs. The first sign is breathing. You can still talk, but your conversation slows down. Some people would say that you can talk, but you can't sing. The second sign is that you'll feel a bit warmer, but you're not sweating profusely. So if you started off your activity or your exercise with a hat or a coat on, you might decide that you need to remove the hat or the coat. And then the third sign is that you'll feel your heart beating a little bit faster. It shouldn't be pounding. Not everybody will have an awareness of this increase in heart rate, and that's okay if you don't. You'll get it on your fitness watch or whatever you use if you choose to. It's important to note that moderate intensity is different for each person depending on how fit you are. So the fitter you are, the more effort it is required to get you to moderate intensity. If you're starting out on your activity journey, walking might be enough to get you to moderate intensity. And as you get fitter, you must challenge yourself to ensure that you still feel the 3 key signs of moderate intensity. And that's a change in the breathing, it's a change in the body heat, and it's a change in the heart rate. Moving on, if we achieve physical or exercise guidelines, but spend a large amount of time sitting down, we could still be putting our health at risk. This is known as sedentary behaviour. So sedentary behaviour is any time spent sitting or lying down using very little energy while we're awake. So it includes time spent sitting at the computer, watching television, or driving, for example. How do we reduce our sedentary behaviour? There's 2 main recommendations for doing this. The first one is, of course, to reduce the amount of time spent sitting through the day. And the second is to break up long periods of sitting with movement as often as possible. Here are some small steps that you can take to reduce sitting times during your working day or your travel time or your leisure time. And maybe try and incorporate one or more of these into each part of your day. I'm going to highlight a couple of examples here, but perhaps take time to pause the video at this point and see which tactic you might use to reduce your sedentary time. So in the office, you might decide to take the stairs rather than take the lift. If you're driving somewhere, you might decide to park further away from your destination, i.e. the far end of the car park. And during your leisure time, you might schedule having, instead of going for a coffee with a friend, you might schedule in a walk or something like that, something active with your friend. Finally, some tips on getting active safely. If you've been unwell or if you've been inactive for a long time, do consult your GP before starting any activity program. Choose activities you enjoy and vary what you do. This is so important. You've got to enjoy it to make it a long-lasting change. Get active with a friend. This makes us accountable. We have to set up the time, we have to set up the plan when we're going to meet that friend. Warm up and warm down with gentle movement and stretching. Planning. Plan the time in advance so that you make it a priority. Make sure you hydrate well before and after your exercise. Wear suitable clothes, so make sure you have the rain gear if you need the rain gear, supportive shoes and things like that. Take every opportunity to move. So if you have that extra 10 minutes at lunch, take that opportunity. You can get some moderate intensity movement and exercise in there, or at least just reduce your sedentary time by getting up and moving around. Perhaps the most important tip is listen to your body. Stop the activity if you feel unwell or have any pain and seek further advice. And finally, don't wait for the motivation to land. Make the plan, follow the plan, and you will notice the benefits to your physical, mental and social health in the medium and long term. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Heart Smart. It's a series to help you to take charge of your own health. Thank you and goodbye.